So what you see before you is a DIY camera arm, and as necessity is the mother for invention, I have been filming for quite a few years, 15 plus, and have always been looking to improve things and decided that I could make a camera arm more suited for me than what I could buy a camera arm. So I set out and over the years have tweaked and redone camera arms, and this is where I am right now. And at this point, this is the most personal camera arm that I've made, and seems to fit the bill and check off the most boxes for what I was looking for. So what I'd like to do is show this to you on a tree and how it works, and go over each little part piece by piece, because some are pretty basic and some are some nuts and bolts and screws and knobs Frankenstein together to make what I needed. So I'm going to give you a close-up of this and go through it and let you see what I did and how I was inspired by other YouTubers. Because part of this creation, I spent some time looking at other YouTube videos, DIYers as well, for camera arms, and took what I liked that they had and added it to mine and come up with this camera arm right here. So let's get into it. So for ease of attachment to the tree, as far as a strap goes, the best thing I could come up with from what other people have already created is the Versa strap. And I had some old tree stand straps over the years that I've collected that I've used on previous camera arms just as it was, and decided that, you know, I'm going to have a Versa button on my camera arm, so I went ahead and made my own Versa straps, and it did shorten the strap a little bit. So if I see that this is not going to work, I may end up, you know, finding a longer strap or just go ahead and buying. I guess it'll depend on the kind of mood I am, but I made my own Versa strap here for this particular camera arm. Working from the camera end of it, this is just a basic camera holder, camera base, and it's nothing expensive. It's not just come off an old tripod that I ended up JB welding a bolt into the camera arm here. See, I can, when it's time to remove, if I need to, I can do that. So I just JB welded this bolt up into this bracket from the camera and used a lock nut to secure it on the end. And then of course I have my camera arm, which I can remove or take off if I need to or want to. So I can replace, and if I decide ever I want to get another camera arm and improve that, I can. But what I have now works for me. The tubing is 1-inch tubing that I bought at the local store, local hardware store, and there's nothing fancy about it. I had 3 sections in this, but I've used it a couple times, and right now I think I can get by with 2. The third piece is here that I've used as well, and if I think I need a third piece, I can do that. It's the adjustment is nice, but I don't think, for me personally, that I'm going to need 3 sections, and it just, you know, it helps in various ways. The less you have on this, the simpler it's going to be. The bolts are 1/4 bolts that I fit with Teflon washers in between to help with movement. So that was simple. The complex part where I wanted to really personalize this is in the piece that attaches to the tree. Now what I found with my camera arm in the past was when the arm was attached to the base and bolted to it, I had a hard time or struggled or just getting the strap around the tree and trying to hold the camera arm folded up between my knees. And I thought there's got to be a simpler way to do this. So after watching other people and looking online at different options, I decided on a removable arm from the base. So what I did was, again, I like tinkering around, so I made a thumb screw that loosens and allows me to, not enough, here we go, remove the arm from the base that attaches to the tree. This is a quarter 20 bolt, a longer quarter 20 bolt, probably, I think it was about 7 inches, where there was a smaller portion of the bolt was threaded and a larger portion of the bolt, the shank, was smooth. And I just cut it to the size I needed, and I added a groove right here. As you can see that the wing nut presses up against and keeps the allows the friction here on the camera arm to keep it in place. One of the things I did to keep the tube from collapsing is put spacers in there. I think they're 3/8 spacers, so quarter 20. I couldn't find the quarter 20 spacers were longer, so I just used 3/8. I just wanted this to not collapse. So they're threaded, but the threaded portion really does nothing for this quarter 20 bolt. What I have here is a 5/8 bolt and nut, and I had a lot of failures or ways to improve, so I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to show you my finished product. So I took this bolt right here and I drilled down through all the way, and I'm not sure, but what I did was I tapped this bolt, probably looking there, I don't know, maybe 3/8, and then I had an arrow, broken arrow, so I drilled the hole the size of that arrow that I can't remember what it was whenever I checked the size, but I went down to almost to the left a little bit before come out the head, and so that it did not fall, and then I glued that arrow in there. When I tapped this is tapped, I drilled in the side, down out through the arrow, and then this is a quarter 20 thumb screw that I made. Just heated up and beat on an anvil till it got to the size I wanted. So this is just a piece of angle aluminum that is bolted. This serves two purposes. It holds this in place, but it also, and this is another thing that I noticed that I stole from other YouTubers, is this piece at the bottom. It's got teeth on it that I cut into with a little handsaw and a little Dremel to grip to the tree. That you'll see how that works whenever I show you guys outside. Moving up, this is just a this is my Versa button that is actually a bolt from a toilet. So I save bolts and nuts whenever I take something apart and I had to take a toilet out, so I saved this. And it also, you can't see, but it also has a spacer down in there that keeps the wall from collapsing on itself, and it works out that I guess it's quarter 20 as well, or no, 3/8. 3/8 bolt that I can screw down into the wall, and that's my Versa button. this last part, you'll see this adjustment is the top of the base, or the portion that attaches to the tree, and it's got a phalange or the bolts in there, the spacer, to keep it from collapsing. But it also allows this as an adjustment for the top portion. And again, this is stuff that I found on YouTube, and I took from camera arm manufacturers that I liked and made my own. This is just a bolt, non-threaded, with no head, that I just took a file and made a little groove in there for my screwdriver and fit a threaded knob on, and then put a lock nut on there to keep this from coming loose, so I could tighten and loosen the base from the tree. Alright, let's head outside and attach this to the tree, and I'll show you guys how it's going to function. So I'm going to show you guys strapping this to the tree. So this is what it would look like before the strap is on. So the first thing I would do is, before I unpack this, or I would just set this to the side and hold it, I would take my strap around the tree and get it closer to the size I need, distance I need for my base, and then I can go ahead and attach the Versa button. It's just so much easier to work with rather than have the big camera arm hanging out. So this can adjust, this adjustment here at the bottom is nice. It's got the teeth for biting into smoother bark or thinner bark trees. I like to set this bolt here to about the same distance as this, and cinch that down. And then I have this adjustment. It does two things. It'll help level the camera arm, and at the same time it's tightening this strap and keeping this from going side to side. This you can fit to adjust as well if your trees would be a little crooked. I just like having some micro adjustment to some things. All right, so that is super tight. Now, this went through some modifications that finally ended up working for me. Now this is, I have this set tight so that the groove is always on this side, the right side, same as the wing nut, so it sits down in, and I can tighten my wing nut, my homemade wing nut, and the back portion is tight. You can see that the arm is securely attached to the tree. So here's the camera arm attached to the tree. I have, whether I'm on a platform, I now have maneuverability. Now I know three arms would be nice to help reach around to be off to my right, opposite side of the camera, but I'm making a transition to saddle hunting, and the two arms is nice because there's a saddle predominantly, you know, I'm this way, and it's nice to have a shorter arm here to reach around to that side of the tree, or I can come back this way to this side of the tree. And you know, again, we'll see how it goes. If I think I need the third section here, then I can always add that on to whatever size I need. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. You can see just real quick here, folding this up, loosening the wing nut. Yes, I know the wing nut could, you know, you just got to be careful with how loose you make it. Pull that out, tighten that wing nut down. That's going to pack out nice. It's nice and small. This, if I loosen the top adjustment a little, that makes this a lot easier than that comes off really nice. So it's quieter. There's more adjustment to it. It's simpler to put up on the tree and take off. The only thing left to do would be to cover the metal to deaden that sound, and I've got some, right now I'm going to try some truck bed liner, aerosol truck bed liner on that. I used that before on other arms and it worked great. So this packs out. If I would choose to wrap this around, I know you can hear it now, it's a little loud, but see that camera arm, that's it right there, my little camera arm. Alright, I hope this helped you, because I know that all the information that I got from other guys online helped me a lot. So I got the camera arm coated, and what I used was Krylon truck coating, truck bed coating, and it turned out pretty nice. Looks really good. I mean, it's got some flaws where no, this one actually doesn't. This one's the best piece. Give you an idea here. So I finished it off with some caps. Now they only had 4 and I needed 6. The store did, so I bought the 4 of them and brought them home. And I tell you what, it really finishes this off. I mean, you can tell by the mismatched stuff, at least I can by looking at it, that it's it's not a big time manufacturing process here, but I'm pleased with it. Put a little Loctite on that, so it's got on this nut, and of course this is working great, and polished up the bolt from the toilet, and my little adjustment screw is working great. So this, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I'm excited to try and use it. The other piece, camera arm, is here, and it's finished up nice with the caps in the end. You know, the still aluminum underneath, but it's got a nice truck bed coating on it. Still got a little metal ting to it, but it is deadened some. If it would clang, you know, if it doesn't seem like it works and there's something better out there, you know, I can put it on. Something softer that is still durable. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and go be creative and DIY something for yourself.